ultimate elk bullet. Look at that bad boy. Rock Slide's gonna love this. Oh wait, that's too powerful for Rock Slide. Crap. Welcome back to the channel. This one's gonna be a fun one. Guys, the intro was obviously a spoof. I don't think any .22 caliber cartridge is an ideal elk cartridge. But this is going to be the start of my .22 Creedmoor series. I've always been on record of saying the best Creedmoor is the .22 Creedmoor because we've got velocity. So to start out the series, I thought I would just go ahead and see what kind of ideal powders for .22 Creedmoor. We're going to go from like a 69 grain bullet all the way up to 88, maybe 90 grain bullets. And we're going to see what the ideal powders to get the most precision and velocity out of your .22 Creedmoor. So before this video, I was doing some research. I was looking at all the factory rifles that you can get in .22 Creedmoor, and I came to the realization the short barrel syndrome is in full effect in .22 Creedmoor. The most common barrel lengths for factory guns are 18 inches and 22 inches. What are we doing, guys? You are absolutely neutering the .22 Creedmoor, putting it in an 18-inch barrel and a 22-inch barrel, and I'm going to show you. So with the assumption that most of you are shooting factory rifles in your .22 Creedmoor, meaning a lot of you have really stubby 18-inch barrels, let's go ahead and see what the ideal powder for each bullet weight. Let's start out with some of the lighter bullets. I mean, Hornady just came out with this 62 grain ELD VT. Look, this is all you need for the lighter bullets, and 150. That's it. The other option, if you're going to shoot in the lower 60 grain bullet weight options, Varget. Varget is a great powder. All right, just to kind of show you how bad the short barrel Magnum syndrome has gotten, let's just run some numbers. Let's see what ideal powders there are for a .22 Creedmoor in an 18-inch barrel. Okay, we're going to do the 69 grain. There's a new 69 grain ELDM, and we are trying to find the best powders for this. And you're going to see this is not ideal for precision to have an 18-inch barrel. So what did we pick? I picked Vihtavuori N550 and running it to 65,000 PSI with a 69 grain bullet. We're going to be topping out around 3,335 feet per second. You know, obviously 100% burnt propellant is what I'm looking for. I would ideally love to have more case fill than 92%, 91.8%. So this is why it's not great. With this shorter barrel, we have to run a faster burning powder, and the options are very limited to try to meet close to 98, close to 100% case fill. With these faster powders, we're down in the low 90s. Not ideal. Okay, let's look at the list of good powders for .22 Creedmoor with a 69 grain bullet or a lower 62 grain bullet. Starting off with the old boomer powder, IMR 4350. Pretty decent case fill. Now, something to consider, this is the case fill at 65,000 PSI, and the max velocity you're going to get with an 18-inch barrel at 65,000 PSI. So, not ideal, you know, because most of the time you're not going to find your best accuracy at 65,000 PSI, so your case fill is going to be lower. It is what it is. N550, I just showed you that in GRT, not great case fill, but, you know, we're making the best of these lemons with this 18-inch barrel. 3,335 feet per second max velocity. Reloader 17 if you can get it. Even worse case fill, but you're going to get the best velocity at 3,365 feet per second. Finally, this is a little bit more appropriate with, like, say, that 62 grain I was showing you earlier. N150, 93% case fill. 3,265 feet per second. 4 powders. That's it. Let's get to the holy grail of the 22 caliber bullets. Well, according to Rockslide, the 77 tipped Match King from Sierra. Now, all jokes aside, I've heard great things about this bullet as far as accuracy wise. It's an easy bullet to load for. So what can we get out of the 18-inch barrel 22 Creedmoor with the 77 tip Match King? Let's see. All right, I would say there are 2 powders that really excel with the 22 Creedmoor and the 77 tip Match King and this awful barrel length. First one is N160, but there's a big asterisk next to it because unfortunately, due to your short barrel length, you're not getting 100% burnt propellant until you're at like 62,000 PSI, which is not ideal. It really gives you a small window of finding your accuracy. But really good case fill, 99%, max velocity, 3,140 feet per second. That's fine. IMR 4350. This powder just will always be relevant. 94% case fill, not as great. And then top velocity of 3,135 feet per second. Next, Reloader 17. I almost didn't include it on this list, but guys, the options are so limited. You know, you're going to have pretty bad case fill. You can still find really good accuracy with lower case fill. It is what it is. You are going to get the most velocity at 3,200 feet per second. Then finally, probably the best powder for this situation, 77 tip Match King, 18-inch barrel, N555. 97% case fill, really good case fill, and a velocity of 3,150. Now let's go ahead and jump up to the 80 grain ELDM. Now Hornady actually makes factory ammo for the 80 grain ELDM in the 22 Creedmoor. Guys, I'm going to be honest, this is a great bullet. You're going to get very good BC and, well, relatively good velocities depending on your barrel length. The longer the barrel, the better. It's just a really great bullet, and apparently Tim and I talking about how awesome this bullet is for varmints really kind of pissed off the internet. But if you are into long-range prairie dog shooting, varmint shooting, this really is one of the better bullets you can get, because you want a tipped bullet, you want that immediate expansion that the ELD match provides you, and again, the really high BC, so that you can shoot some prairie dogs well past 400 yards. It does much better in the wind than the dumpy, really light bullets that you would shoot in a 22-250. So, if you want to learn more about that, go check out Tim's Patreon account, Ethical Hunting Accuracy. He is the expert on varmint shooting, and specifically this 80 ELDM. Well, back to our programming and disappointment. Let's look at what the ideal powders are for an 18-inch barrel 22 Creed with the 80 ELDM. Really, there's one powder, well, three, two really good ones and one that's okay. N555, 96% case fill, 3,105 feet per second. N160, 98% case fill, almost 3,100 feet per second. And lastly, IMR 4350, not the best case fill, but decent, 93% case fill, 3,090 feet per second. Yeah, that's it. 3 powders. Let's go ahead and look at the ideal powders for the 88 ELDM. N160, 97% case fill, top velocity of 2,980 feet per second. IMR 4350, it's still there. 92% case fill, top velocity 2,963. And lastly, N555, 95% case fill, 2,985 feet per second. So the moral of the story, guys, don't get a 22 Creedmoor in an 18-inch barrel. Well, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this is helpful for you that have the shorter barrel 22 Creedmoors and are just looking for a little bit of accuracy. You know, give those powders a try. I'll just say this. In the coming weeks, part 2, I'm going to show you what a 22 Creedmoor can really do in the proper barrel length. So please hit that subscribe button, because guys, we are going to push an 80 grain ELDM with this powder in a 26-inch barrel. And guess what? We're going to easily get over 3,500 feet per second.